In the headlines for this hour on VTV News, urgent effort continue to streamline the organizational structure. In Vietnam, the Czech Republic issued a joint statement on relationship upgrade. In world news, world leaders congratulate Donald Trump on his inauguration as 47th U.S. president.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello, it's 8 a.m. local time in Hanoi, and you're watching VTV News. As of January 21st, the Central Steering Committee held its second meeting to review the implementation of Resolution 18 of the 12th Party Congress on streamlining the organizational structure. Party General Secretary Theo, head of the steering committee, chaired the meeting.
After more than 2 months of implementing Resolution 18, the steering committee has made significant progress. Party General Secretary Theo emphasized that the impressive results achieved in the first 2 months were due to a new and effective approach and a strong consensus among party members, officials, and the public. However, he stressed that more work remains to be done moving forward.
The results we've achieved are very important, but we must recognize that this is just the first step. We have only established the framework for the organizational structure and assessed its operational efficiency. We still have much work to do, particularly staffing and human resources. This is now the critical phase and the real challenge lies ahead. The framework has been established, but we must focus on specific, practical issues. The reorganization of the structure is not a one-time process. It requires continued effort to enhance the operational effectiveness of the new system.
Party General Secretary Theo urged the steering committee to continue advising the Politburo and Secretariat in leading and guiding party committees, organizations and units at all levels in implementing the resolution. This involves enacting the new organizational structure alongside employee reorganization to meet the tasks. Further research and proposals should be developed to improve the draft documents for the upcoming 14th Party Congress to lay the foundation for the development of the Congress resolution. Refining the model to obtain a streamlined political system and improve operational efficiency was also imperative.
During his official visit to the Czech Republic, Prime Minister Phie met with Czech President Pavel. The leaders reaffirmed the special relationship between their nations and celebrated the historic upgrade of bilateral ties to a strategic partnership, a milestone coinciding with the 75th anniversary of diplomatic relations. Moving forward, both sides agreed to work toward increasing trade volume to $5 billion and enhancing the exchange of goods. President Pavel also pledges to advocate for swift ratifications of the EVIPA agreement by other European countries and to support the European Commission in removing the yellow card on Vietnamese seafood exports. Prime Minister Phie expressed gratitude and requested continued Czech support for the Vietnamese community residing in the country. Meeting with Czech Senate President Milo Vincius, Prime Minister Phie affirmed that in his foreign policy of independence, self-reliance, multilateralism, and diversification of relations, Vietnam treasures and hopes to strengthen ties with traditional partners in Central and Eastern Europe, with the Czech Republic being a top priority. He said that there are only commonalities and no differences between the two countries, stating that these similarities form the foundation for them to elevate their relationship to a strategic partnership, marking the 75th anniversary of diplomatic ties. Senate President Vincius recognized Vietnam's special significance to the Czech Republic, describing Vietnam as one of the most important partners in Southeast Asia. He expressed optimism that the strategic partnership would open up new avenues for collaboration. Concluding Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính official visit to the Czech Republic from January 18 to 20th, both countries issue a joint statement upgrading their relations to a strategic partnership. They committed to enhancing top-level visit, dialogue, and cooperation in defense and security. Both sides will focus on boosting trade, investment, and agricultural cooperation while actively implementing the EU-Vietnam Free Trade Agreement and promoting the EU-Vietnam Investment Protection Agreement. They also aims to strengthen education, science, and tourism ties and support multilateralism and peaceful dispute resolution in line with international law. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính, his spouse, and a high-level Vietnamese delegation arrived in Switzerland on Tuesday morning to attend the 55th annual meeting of the World Economic Forum (WEF) Davos and bilateral talks in Switzerland.
The 55th WEF Davos, themed Cooperation in the Smart Age, has attracted around 3,000 global leaders, international organizations, and top multinational corporations. Upon arrival in Switzerland, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính delivered a speech at the Vietnam National Strategic Dialogue entitled Unlocking Vietnam's Growth Potential, Promoting Investment and Innovation for a Stronger Future. The Prime Minister highlighted Vietnam's stable political and social environment, strengthened national defense and security, and the assurance of social welfare with the principle that no one is left behind. Looking ahead to 2025, Vietnam will continue to prioritize growth while maintaining macroeconomic stability, controlling inflation, ensuring key economic balances, and aiming for a growth rate of at least 8% in 2025, with a double-digit growth target for subsequent years. The country is preparing to enter a new era of national advancement. At the same time, Vietnam is committed to implementing 3 breakthrough strategies: institutional reform, infrastructure development, and human resource enhancement, based on the principles of efficient institutions, seamless infrastructure, and smart governance. The Prime Minister urged partners and investors to continue collaborating with Vietnam in various areas, including advising on institutional reform, attracting high-quality investments, developing infrastructure, offering financial incentives, conducting research and transferring modern technology, training and attracting high-quality human resources, and enhancing modern governance capabilities.
National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn attended and delivered a speech at the Francophone Parliamentary Forum on Sustainable Agriculture, Food Security, and Climate Change Response in Cần Thơ City on Tuesday morning.
National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn stated that the forum's convening once again highlights Vietnam's active, responsible approach to multilateral cooperation frameworks and its commitments to addressing common issues facing the region and the world. He also emphasized Vietnam's solidarity and partnership in the development of the Francophone community and its member countries.
With this spirit, the National Assembly of Vietnam has organized this forum to promote cooperation among Francophone countries in building sustainable agriculture, ensuring livelihoods for each household, and achieving food security for every nation, while addressing global climate change. Legislative bodies, parliaments, and individual parliamentarians play an essential role in driving and monitoring the implementation of these objectives. This forum provides a platform for delegates to discuss ideas and actions to promote sustainable agriculture and ensure food security while simultaneously tackling climate change.
National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn expressed confidence that the forum's 3 thematic discussion sessions, cooperation among Francophone countries in sustainable agriculture, the Francophone community and food security, and sharing experiences and international cooperation in climate change response will help underline the critical role of Francophone parliaments in addressing global challenges. During the opening session, the president of the Francophone Parliamentary Union praised Vietnam's initiative in organizing the forum, describing it as a starting point for cooperation and fulfilling the Francophone community's commitment to confronting global challenges.
Coming up next on VTV News, Vietnam to boost localization in key industries. An early Vietnamese state atmosphere in the United States. Welcome back to VTV News. Quang Binh Province has completed the handover of all land needed for the North-South Expressway project for the period 2021-2025 that passes through the province. The project management unit of the Ho Chi Minh Road project overseeing the Vạn Ninh Cam Lộ section has received the final land transfer in Lệ Thủy district to begin construction. The construction team will now remove organic soil, structures, and foundations before leveling the site for subsequent construction phases. The project extends 126 kilometers across 6 districts, towns, and cities, covering 35 communes and wards. In 2024, Vietnam's leather, footwear, and handbag industry achieved export turnover target of $27 billion. The main contributors to this success were the proactive efforts to develop supply chains and localize raw materials. More to follow.
In 2024, this textile and garment producer achieved over $204 million in revenue. The company's increased localization of raw materials and ability to capitalize on markets under free trade agreements are set to be the cornerstone of this year's growth targets.
Our company's domestic sourcing ratio has grown to 30%, up from less than 5% 5 years ago. Key trade agreements like EVFTA and CPTPP require specific input criteria, such as fabrics produced in Vietnam, to enjoy preferential tariffs. This has significantly boosted the development of a complete supply chain and encouraged further investment in Vietnam's supporting industries.
Footwear remains one of Vietnam's billion-dollar export industries. To reach its export target of over $30 billion this year, the industry must address its most pressing challenge, securing a reliable supply chain for raw materials.
By proactively managing raw material supply, we can compete more effectively, maintain control over production, and achieve profit increases of 150% to 200% over relying on external supply chains.
The leather and footwear industry still imports 50% to 60% of its raw materials. We strongly urge the government to develop raw material trading centers, which are currently in short supply. These centers would help businesses secure materials more easily, enable small and medium enterprises to integrate into supply chains, and maximize the benefits of free trade agreements.
In addition to expanding market access, Vietnam's 19 free trade agreements require reducing tariffs on imported goods over time. Strengthening supply chain linkages and enhancing localization rates are expected to be vital strategies for textile and footwear enterprises to sustain their domestic market presence while boosting export efficiency.
Ho Chi Minh City is entering the peak of its pre-date shopping week, with purchasing power expected to increase by 3 to 4 times compared to previous weeks. Businesses have allocated $360 million to stock essential goods, ensuring prices remain 5% below market rate.
This company currently supplies 1 million eggs daily to Ho Chi Minh City's Tet Market and plans to double this volume soon. They maintain sufficient stock and have added more price stabilization points.
We have expanded our price stabilization points by 20%, reaching traditional markets and grocery stores, ensuring easy access and preventing local shortages or price hikes.
This firm is using e-commerce platforms and live streaming to sell specialty rice through the 28th day of the 12th lunar month, with more than 100 tons of rice prepared for transport.
We live stream 16 hours a day, offering vouchers to reduce prices by 20 to 30%, while keeping profit margins stable to promote Vietnamese products at export standards and reasonable prices.
Retailers are offering major promotions during the peak pre-Tet shopping week, with essential goods priced 5% lower to encourage the purchase of Vietnamese products.
We offer daily discounts of up to 50%, along with buy one get one free promos for various products, driving a 15% increase in purchasing power compared to last year.
Businesses have confirmed they will rapidly deploy mobile price stabilization points if any local shortages occur.
Nearly 3,000 tons of rice from the National Reserve will be allocated to 7 provinces to support local people during the Tết holiday and the lean season in early 2025 under 2 decisions recently signed by Deputy Prime Minister Hồ Đức Phước. Accordingly, over 2,519 tons of rice will be provided for 5 localities, including Đắk Lắk, Ninh Thuận, Cao Bằng, Hà Giang, and Kon Tum, and more than 456.5 tons will be allocated to Bắc Cạn and Đắk Nông provinces. The Deputy Prime Minister asked the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Labor, Balance and Social Affairs to take prime responsibility for rice allocations and report on the outcome. Meanwhile, the People's Committees in 7 localities are responsible for providing support for people in need in a timely fashion and in line with regulations. Tomorrow is the 23rd of the 12th lunar month, the Kitchen God Farewell Ritual. At the market has been jam-packed as seen last weekend. At local markets in Hanoi, red carp are priced from $2 to $4 for 3 fish. This year, offerings for the Kitchen God are more diverse and stable priced, but purchasing power has not increased. Gold paper offerings are priced at $1.3 to nearly $2 for a small set and $4 to $6 for larger sets. More intricate details set can cost between $8 and $10 per set. Even though they live far from home, the Vietnamese community in the United States still look forward to the traditional Tết holiday. For them, Tết is an opportunity for the younger generations to connect with the traditions of their homeland.
A fully detailed Vietnamese Tết scene is reenacted, with traditional arts, games, and a traditional market selling obligatory New Year goods. Even though they are half a world away, the atmosphere is the same for the participants.
I am very happy to see that no matter where we go, Vietnamese people still carry their Vietnamese blood. The fact that so many people take part shows that everyone always looks towards their homeland.
One of the event's highlights is the Vietnamese community's performances. Each is not only a display of talent but also conveys pride and love for the community's homeland's culture.
Our nostalgia for our homeland is unforgettable. The further we live from it, the more we miss Vietnam.
When participating in a special occasion like this, I can distinctly feel the Tết atmosphere. I'm glad we have this event to connect with each other.
The Tết holiday is an occasion for the Vietnamese community to reunite and ensure Vietnamese culture is passed on to the younger generation and spread to international friends.
Cherry blossoms are blooming brilliantly across the Central Highlands, creating a stunning spring landscape. The pink flowers that line the roads have drawn crowds of tourists, capturing photos and admiring their beauty. And now just join us as we explore the spectacles in Dalat.
Despite the cold, this group of young people visited Kodut Tea Hill to see the cherry blossoms and take photos.
The flowers are blooming beautifully, creating such poetic scenery. It's a bit chilly, but the beauty is undeniable.
The romantic tea gardens spark our curiosity to explore, making this place more special than any city.
Cherry blossoms line the streets of Dalat, though locals say it's hard to predict when or where they will bloom first. This year, the first blossoms appeared on Kodat Tea Hill. At 1,500 meters above sea level, the pink flowers blend with the green tea trees, creating a picturesque landscape that visitors shouldn't miss this season.
The cold weather inspired me to capture photos of the pink cherry blossoms, green tea leaves, and distant windmills, resulting in the beautiful pictures.
Dalat is known as the City of 1,000 Flowers. Though its cherry blossoms display a subtle pink hue compared to other blooms, these delicate flowers are eagerly awaited by many, heralding the arrival of spring.
Coming up next in our world news, world leaders congratulate Donald Trump on his inauguration as the 47th U.S. president. And Hamas confirms second hostage exchange. World leaders have congratulated Donald Trump on his inauguration as the 47th President of the United States. In congratulatory messages, leaders of many nations expressed their hope for strong ties with the U.S. under the new administration. Russian President Vladimir Putin emphasized Moscow's readiness to engage with the new administration to resolve the conflict in Ukraine, aiming for lasting peace built on mutual respect. Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba expressed enthusiasm for strengthening Japan-U.S. relations, while Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed hope for closer cooperation to benefit both nations and build a better world. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu expressed confidence in elevating the U.S.-Israel alliance. In her congratulatory message, European Commission's President Ursula von der Leyen highlighted the EU's commitment to collaborating with the U.S. to solve global challenges.
On your second inauguration as President of
Asian stocks rose slightly on Tuesday as U.S. President Donald Trump's initial policy announcement suggested a focus on negotiation rather than an immediate step, a steep tariff on trading partners. Japan Nikkei 225 gained over 39,000 points, the Shanghai Composite climbed 3,249 points, and Hong Kong Hang Seng Index added more than 20,000 points. President Donald Trump, who returned to the Oval Office with an ambitious agenda of trade reform, immigration, and tax cuts, refrained from targeting China in his inaugural address or imposing immediate tariffs, sparking a modest recovery in Asian markets and weakening the dollar. However, he indicated a potential 25% tariff on imports from Canada and Mexico starting February 1st. Hamas announced on Monday night that the second phase of the hostage exchange would take place as originally scheduled this Saturday, January 25th. The group had earlier said the release would happen on Sunday, violating the hostage-to-prisoner swap agreement, but later backtracked to the original timeline. According to a statement, the release will occur in exchange for Palestinian prisoners held by Israel. This confirmation follows earlier remarks from the head of Hamas prisoners' media office, who initially stated that the release might happen on January 26, a day later than the schedule outlined in the ceasefire agreement with Israel earlier this month. Japan is renowned for blending tradition with modernity. The country has captivated the world with its latest architectural wonder, the Grand Ring. The architecture is currently under construction in Yomeshima Island in Osaka Prefecture.
This massive wooden structure, which is designed to be both a cultural landmark and a tourist magnet, masterfully combines traditional craftsmanship with modern technology. Standing at an inner height of 12 meters and an outer height of 20 meters, the Grand Ring spans an astonishing 2 kilometers in circumference, offering a unique and awe-inspiring architectural space.
Well, for my architectural design and thinking, the wonderful relationship between nature and architecture and the people.
Constructed using approximately 20,000 cubic meters of wood, the Grand Ring is more than just an architectural feat. It symbolizes the harmonious connection between the past and present, people and nature.
Yeah, this structure is like a columns and the beams. And then this, as you can see, this joints is really inspired by the Japanese traditional way of putting columns and beam together.
Scheduled for completion in April this year, the Grand Ring is poised to become a new symbol of Osaka, drawing millions of tourists from around the globe.
And then this is the land, man-made land in the middle of the sea, but this is like a flat land. But if you are standing in the middle of this place, you don't see the sea because of so many constructions. So I thought about it's so pity we couldn't see the sea and all around.
Beyond its grandeur, it is an ideal venue to experience Japanese culture, reflecting the sustainable and innovative spirit of the land of the rising sun.
And now, as usual, let's continue with the weather forecast. And that's it for this hour on VTV News. To rewatch our program, you can log on to VTVgo.vn or download a mobile application VTVgo. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.